Abby Choi belonged to one of the most influential and affluent families in Hong Kong. She was a popular socialite and model boasting more than 100,000 followers on her Instagram. Abby was born in 1994 into a wealthy family. Her father was an uber-rich businessman. Her family had a well-established construction business with ties all over China. Her family included her parents and two younger sisters. However, Abby's influence did not just stem from her family background. She had an amazing real estate portfolio of her own. She had numerous properties and invested in luxury watches and designer bags as well. This helped her garner a net worth of 100 million Hong Kong dollars. She had an impeccable sense of style and attended many fashion events all over the world. She was basically Chinese royalty. Abby was well renowned in the world of fashion and was featured in many prestigious publications like Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Elle. But Abby wasn't just some pretentious influencer. She was known as a very down-to-earth and kind person. She was polite, well-spoken, and treated everyone with great respect. She was really humble and had a great love for animals. It seems as if there was nothing that this woman couldn't do, except maybe one thing: protecting herself from people with malicious intent. Abby was married to her long-term boyfriend, Chris Tam, with whom she had 2 kids. They had known each other as young school kids but drifted apart as they grew older. After Abby's divorce from Alex, they began forming a relationship. Although their marriage wasn't legally registered, their love and commitment to each other could be witnessed by all friends and family. The pair had a celebratory wedding in 2016, after which their bond grew even stronger. Chris belonged to an equally influential background, if not more. Chris's father, Tam Chap Kwan, was the founder of the Tam Jai Yunnan Mixie and Eatery chain. Chris's family reportedly has a net worth of $500 million. Both their families had high regard and respect for each other. But as seen here, Abby has 4 children instead of just 2. That's right, Abby had 2 children from a previous marriage. Abby Choi married really young at the age of 18. She married Alex Kwong, her high school sweetheart, who was also 18 at the time. While Abby's parents were slightly concerned that she was too young for marriage, Alex's parents had no worries. They saw this as an opportunity to scale up their social status. This is because Alex's family was fairly middle class and did not have much social influence. But Abby didn't care about the difference in social classes. She just married for love. The couple had 2 children. However, the marriage was short-lived as the young couple split up after 3 years when they were just 21. They parted ways officially in 2015. Alex and Abby shared 2 children, so in total Abby had 4 kids between the ages of 3 and 10. Despite her divorce, Abby maintained close relations with her ex-in-laws. Abby created a very healthy family dynamic between both families. She would routinely plan family outings with all the kids, often going to Disneyland, trips on their yacht, and other recreational activities. Even Chris extended his fatherly love to Abby and Alex's children, promising to ensure their well-being. Her ex-husband's family consisted of 4 people: Alex, the ex-husband, his brother Anthony Kwong, their father Kwong Kao, and mother Jenny Lee. Kwong Kao was an ex-police officer who was now unemployed. He tried to sign up for many jobs but couldn't stick to any of them. He had previously served as a sheriff for the police department. He was let off from the police force due to multiple offenses. One of these alleged offenses happened back in 2005. In 2005, a young woman came to the police department to report a crime. Sheriff Kwong took the frazzled woman under his wing and vowed to deliver her justice. But Sheriff Kwong instead did the opposite. It is alleged that he took advantage of the woman's trust and raped her at her residence. This is how Kwong Kao lost his position as the sheriff and became jobless. He did not like the other jobs that he applied for, as they didn't provide him with the authority that the police department did. Since none of the Kwong family members had any means of supporting themselves, the responsibility landed on Abby's shoulders. Abby, being the kind person she was, hired her ex-brother-in-law Anthony as her driver. She paid him a handsome amount as she was perfectly aware of their financial conditions. Anthony would routinely post selfies with her on his Instagram, acting like a courteous brother and sister. This showed how cordial and pleasant their relationship was. But she wasn't just nice to her ex-in-laws, she became their godmother and did more than just support them financially. She went as far as paying for their extravagant lifestyle. The Kwong family began to leech off Abby's finances. But she didn't just stop there. Abby bought a luxury property in Kadoorie Hill in Tai Po, which is a suburb of Hong Kong. This was bought so that her ex-husband's family could comfortably live in it. This was worth a whopping $10 million. Although it was Abby who bought the property, it was in her ex-father-in-law Kwong Kao's name. This was done in order to avoid some taxes. Despite her busy schedule, Abby always made the time to be the best possible mother to her kids. She'd make it a priority to always pick up her kids from school. On February 21st, she was on the way to pick up her kids from school when she failed to show up. According to the authorities, she was last seen at her residence on Tuesday, February 21st, 2023, before she went missing. She, along with her driver Anthony Kwong, went to pick up her kids from school when she went missing along the way. When her friends and family noticed her absence, they immediately alerted the police. When the Hong Kong police were notified, they launched a thorough investigation. Over 150 detectives were appointed by the police to investigate the case. Police tracked the GPS location of Abby's 7-seater car, which was driven by her driver and ex-brother-in-law. From the GPS, they could pinpoint a location in Tai Po. It was here that the police found the location of the crime. Upon research, police also realized that Abby was having financial disputes with her ex-husband's family involving millions of Hong Kong dollars. It is said that Abby wanted to sell the property where they were living and wanted to shift them elsewhere. It wasn't like she was kicking them out. She just wanted to relocate them to another place. This possibly led to some tensions amongst them, as realtors would come to visit the location quite often. The Kwong family was displeased with the way Abby was handling her assets. The police picked this as a sign that they could have been involved in her disappearance. So, 3 days after she went missing, police got a warrant to search a property rented by the Kwong family. Here they made some horrible discoveries. First, police found Abby's headless body. Some body parts were placed inside a refrigerator. The most gruesome detail is the fact that the murderers had cooked some parts of her body. Abby's head was found in a pot of soup underneath some radishes and carrots. Her ribs were also inside a cooking pot. Police found a list of horrifying murder weapons, including an electric saw and meat grinder, at the scene. It was apparent that the murder was planned and premeditated due to the presence of gloves, masks, and raincoats at the scene. Police found female legs inside a refrigerator, which was then taken into custody. Abby's ID, credit cards, and other personal items were found. They also found human tissue cooking in a pot of soup. On March 6th, investigators confirmed that all body parts belonged to Abby Choi. A 6.5-inch hole was found in the backside of Abby's head. Authorities suggest that this might have been the fatal blow that resulted in her death. However, her hands and torso were found to be missing. Police found a nearby landfill where they thought the missing body parts could have been disposed of. More than 120 officers wore protective clothing and combed through the landfill. However, they found no remains of Abby. They foraged through an area which was the size of a football pitch and was 5 meters deep. They also did door-to-door questioning in order to gain more information. They even searched a nearby cemetery and sewage. Police
兇徒咧曾經喺22號嘅早上咧抌咗幾袋嘅重要證物，可能係啲人體殘骸，亦都係有機會係啲受害者嘅衫同埋電話啊，甚至乎以至空氣等等咁所以我哋今日
Police immediately arrested all 4 members of the Kwong family. Alex, his brother Anthony, and their father Kwong Kao were arrested on charges of murder, while the mother Jenny Lee was charged with preventing the course of justice. Alex tried to escape the authorities by attempting to flee to China via a speedboat, but fortunately, he failed. He faced additional charges related to thefts he had committed between 2013 and 2015. All 4 of them were detained without bail by the Kowloon City Magistrates Court. Police arrested 3 more people in the murder case. The court was adjourned to May 8th for further proceedings. On the 8th of May, the prosecutors mentioned that they needed more time to examine 30 more items that were at the crime scene. These included various kitchenware items, hammers and knives that were used to dismember Abby's body. The Kwong family's lawyer complained that the investigators were slow in compiling forensic reports. The trial was then adjourned to October 11th. The culprits received an extra charge of preventing the lawful burial of a body, as they had dismembered and cooked her remains. All of Hong Kong was shrouded in disbelief and horror over this horrific crime. Abby was a kind and caring soul, brutally torn from this world in an untimely and barbaric manner.
Abby 21號失蹤，阿 Chris 一直都冇同我哋講。
因為其實我哋約咗食飯嘅，本來嗰幾日咁，但係因為例如約咗食飯，突然間見到冇聲氣，咁我哋又唔會追。唔係，跟住之後我哋都有幫，我哋嗰時係未知道 Abby 已經過咗身嘅。
A few months before her death, she opened a welfare organization along with her friends. The shelter, called Palmas Charitable Organization, aimed at helping stray animals, was generously funded by Abby herself. There's a famous instance of Abby saving a severely injured cat that had been hit by a car and was dying on the side of the road. Abby graciously helped the cat back to recovery. This is how she was, always looking after others, exceeding in generosity and genuinely selfless. Her funeral was held on June 18th in Po Fook Memorial Hall. The funeral was pink-themed in honor of her favorite color. Amongst friends and family were hundreds of mourners who showed up to pay their respects to the kind soul that Abby was. This is how her family chooses to remember her. Her husband showed up with one of their children. He expressed his commitment to caring for all 4 of Abby's children. Chris chose to remember Abby as the devoted mother and loving wife whom he adored. Chris's father regarded Abby as his beloved daughter-in-law. Abby's mother remembered her firstborn daughter, the one who took care of everyone and was loved by everyone. Supporters over the internet also expressed their outrage at the fact that the Kwongs had done the worst to Abby when she had done nothing but be kind to them. The impact of Abby's death, especially the heinous intentions that stole her from this world, was felt around the globe. At the end of the ceremony, Abby was finally put to rest when her remains were cremated. Her influence can be felt by the outpour of love and support that is evident at her funeral. This was the last remembrance of a life cut too short, too brutally. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more true crime videos. See you in the next video.